W. R. Berkley CEO William R. Berkley warns that some companies somewhere may not survive the swing to a hard market because it will be unwilling to increase rates. He says companies could run into dire financial difficulties when they have to begin paying for their underpriced past. First quarter net income at Liberty Mutual was up about 26% to $459 million compared to the same period last year. CEO David H. Long credits improvements in U.S. commercial pricing, which he says is a welcome development in light of the chronic underpricing in many of these lines, particularly workers' compensation. Reuters reports that Barclays and Deutsche Bank won a bidding war for a portfolio of toxic assets the U.S. government acquired in 2008 from AIG after the bailout of the insurance giant. The two banks will buy collateralized debt obligations consisting of bundles of commercial mortgage bonds which have a face value of $7.5 billion. Illinois Republican Rep. Aaron Schock, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, says it's time for the Senate to get off their duff and get something done on a long-term national flood insurance program extension. A representative of FEMA, which runs the NFIP, issued a statement to Congress this week calling for a 2-year reauthorization of the existing NFIP so that the program does not lapse before current authorization expires on May 31st. The world has become statistically less stable, according to Aon's newly released 2012 Terrorism and Political Violence Map. Aon downgraded 37 countries indicating greater risks, including France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, in light of European austerity measures and spending cuts. Meanwhile, 6 countries, including Australia, Egypt, the Netherlands, and Macedonia, were upgraded to a safer status. Military personnel have an increased risk of at-fault auto accidents within 6 months of returning from overseas duty, a report from insurer USAA says. The insurer conducted a study over a 3-year period from January 2007 through February 2010, examining the personal driving experience of USAA member military personnel. The study found that the at-fault accident rate for troops returning from deployments from the war zone increased by 13% within the first months of return, compared to 6 months prior to deployment. The insurer has worked with Professor Erica Stern of the University of Minnesota, who has studied the driving experience of soldiers returning from deployments. She indicates the culprit is carryover driving behaviors that can save lives overseas in a war zone, but results in increased risky driving behavior back in the States.